What's up, chess player? Robert James Fischer gives a checkmate in 17 moves, sacrificing a bunch of stuff and making so many instructive, valuable moves, so you can take a lot out of this video. I'm gonna, of course, explain everything so you can use those principles in your own games. So I see no reason for you to click away out of this video, so let's get started. Fischer played as white against Robin Fine, and the game started with Evans gambit, a very aggressive gambit here, b4, just sacrificing the pawn to get some space advantage, to get some time advantage, and let's see how white uses it. Of course, nowadays they don't play it that much on a high level. Why? Because with the presence of the computer analysis, it's so difficult to get something out of those double-edged gambits, let's say. So c3 has been played. That is the point you're giving here, the pawn to win 2 tempi and to get the center. d4 has been played immediately, even though after takes you can't really take it back with the pawn. I mean, that is so incredible, and white is still doing that in order to get this time. Now just castles and you can pick up another pawn, and that is exactly what black does, but actually it's not considered to be such a great move, even though the position is still equal. But for a computer, he doesn't care, he's gonna defend every position you can imagine, but for a human being, it's so difficult. I mean, those extra pawns, they don't really help you when your opponent starts to create so many threats against you, like here, queen to b3, attacking here on f7. So the key is, why you're giving up all of those pawns, and sometimes even the pieces, you want to get the initiative. You want to win time, to develop your pieces, to bring it into the game, because it doesn't really matter how many pieces you have. What matters is how many active pieces you have, how many pieces you have in the game participating, because you can see there is a rook on a8, but it doesn't really matter whether it stands there or not till it's gonna get somehow into the game. And so you're fighting to get this time, to bring many more pieces into the game before your opponent can do that, and during that you can give up some of your pawns, some of your pieces, just to be there faster. And that is exactly what's happening here. Knight takes c3, and that is why queen e7 is not so great, because now knight d5 might come with a tempo, and even though knight f6 has been played, seems like it's stopping it, but no, knight e5 is still happening on the board. So knight f6 was a huge mistake here, seemingly a normal move, just developing your pieces, but sometimes it can be just too late. And one small mistakes, I mean, it's like in a relationship, if you forget an anniversary date, that might seemingly be a small mistake for you, but it might destroy everything. The same thing here, when your position is bad, you should be very, very careful with your moves. Even those seemingly normal moves like developing another piece might lead into a disaster here, because after takes, you could see that the e file is now opened, and white is winning another tempo because the knight is under attack here. And time is, I never am too tired to repeat that time is the most important thing in chess, and this time we are gonna see why. Now takes, and a very good strategy. If you have some pieces that you have developed, your opponent has some pieces that he has developed, but you have some advantage in terms of the development. The strategy is to exchange those active pieces that your opponent has, so that he's left only with those undeveloped pieces, and now you can just destroy him, because you still have a lot of potential. Now you could see here a beautiful bishop on b2. This one on a5 practically doesn't participate in the game. The only good thing is he's covering this e1 square. But so many pieces, and black has no way to deal with it. So queen to g5, and now h4, just eliminating the queen out of the defense and creating a luft for this king just in case. Queen takes, and now bishop takes g7. And it's of course not about the pawns, it's about getting to this king. Now the king can go to f8. Well, rook g8 has to be played, the rook is hanging there, but now there is no way to save the king. Rook to e1, you don't care about the exchange, bishop can take, but it's not going to change anything. And now please feel free to pause the video for a second and find the best move for white. I'm pretty sure you have found it. Of course, we would like to play bishop f6 and give a checkmate. The problem is the queen is covering that square. So what do? We deflect the queen from the defense. We play queen to g3, and there is no squares to still control this diagonal. And so after, here black resigned, but after takes, bishop f6 is a checkmate.